What's going on, guys? Antonio here. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up for me, and let's get into it. All right, so I'm gonna get right into it. The Oscars 2022 Oscars dropped last night, and we had the winners out there. Will Smith was nominated for Best Actor for the movie King Richard, which is now streaming on HBO Max. I've watched it a couple times. You know, he had a really solid performance there, so I'm not shocked that he won. But let's actually talk about what happened prior to his name being announced as the Best Actor winner. Chris Rock is the presenter. He comes out, and I think he's presenting for some best documentary film or whatever. And a lot of times, they'll have the guy come out and, tell a couple of jokes to get the crowd laughing and then go into the presenting. Y'all watch these shows. Y'all know how they do, right? So he comes out, he's telling a joke, and he mentioned Javier Bardem and he's married to Penelope Cruz. And they're both nominated for Oscars tonight. So Javier Bardem has already gotten an Oscar for, what was it, No Country for Old Men, which is fantastic. He was great in that. But he's nominated for the the Being the Ricardos movie or whatever that's streaming on Amazon. And Chris Rock says, he mentions Penelope Cruz, and he's like, if Penelope loses tonight, then if you're Javier Bardem, you don't want to win, because I guess, they're married and it's going to be uncomfortable. Like, oh, my wife lost and I won. Oh, that's uncomfortable. He's like, so as a husband, you don't want to win. If your wife loses, then you want someone like, say, Will Smith to win. So then he shifted it over to Will Smith. He's like, if you're Javier and your wife loses, you want Will Smith to win. And then he was like, and he goes, I love you, Jada. I'm looking forward to seeing G.I. Jane 2. Because, Jada has, she's bald now. So that's what it was. And then some people in the crowd were like, oh. And they had the camera on Jada's face, and you could tell she may have felt a certain type of way about the joke. Will chuckled when the joke was said. That's what's so funny about what happened. Will chuckled. I watched back because they got a bunch of people's got those clips up on YouTube. I'm surprised the copyright. I'm not adding any of the footage from it because I know that footage I've used when I use TV footage before. I always get these copyright strikes and stuff, so I just don't even want to fool with it. But I mean, the clips are all over social media. It's on Twitter and Instagram, and every account I follow seems like that they're sharing this footage, right? But yeah, so Chris Rock goes, yeah, I'm looking forward to G.I. Jane 2. Jada's got the look on her face, but Will kind of chuckled. They cut back to Chris, and this is when you start hearing people go, uh-oh. And I did not know until I started, you go a couple more seconds. And the reason why everybody's going, uh-oh, is because Will had gotten up from his seat and was walking up the stairs to come to the stage to, I thought he was just going to tease Chris Rock. I thought he was just going to, do some kind of crazy stuff and then go sit back down and everybody would laugh and it would be over. That is not what happened. All of a sudden, we get a whap, and there was notable gasps. Everybody, they could not believe it because you could hear the mic pick the slap up. It was like, and Chris Rock, it was so weird. He slapped him, and then Chris Rock is standing there like, okay. And, and people were like, oh, this was fake. This was all set up. It wasn't set up. Trust me. I could tell it was. And if you watch the clip, there's so many people that have got the footage up on YouTube. If you saw it, you know that was real because it was Chris Rock just looked stunned. And then he goes, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me. And people laughed. And he was like, wow. He was like, wow, really? He was like, it was a G.I. Jane joke. He didn't. Now, no, I got something else to say about that, but I'll have to rewind because y'all might as well get your popcorn because I'm gonna be talking for a minute. I got so many thoughts on this. I gotta talk. But okay. Chris Rock is like, that wasn't even really that big of a joke. He was like, it was a G.I. Jane joke, dude. And then Will is sitting in and he's welling up. That's what's so bad. Will Smith is like, his eyes are watering. He's upset that he slapped somebody. And he goes, keep my wife's name out your effing mouth. And him and, the back and forth. Chris Rock couldn't believe it. It was like, I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is not real. I couldn't believe it. Chris Rock finishes the presentation. They go to commercial break. There's footage of what happened in the commercial break. There were people with camera phones that have uploaded. So I guess maybe some of the seat fillers or whoever because someone was clearly looked like they were filming from up on the balcony or something. They were in the cheap seats and because there's like a overhead shot from their camera phone and you see what happened after ABC went to commercial break. Bradley Cooper came over and talked to Will Smith. He was, trying to talk because Will's wiping his eyes and stuff and he's upset. And I'm like, you the one that hit somebody. Why? I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was blown. But Bradley Cooper is hugging Will Smith. He's like, hey, there. I know you just slapped somebody. It's going to be okay. Tyler Perry comes up and talks to Will Smith during the commercial break. Denzel Washington comes up and talks to Will Smith. So I'm sitting here like, this is crazy. This whole thing. You see, and Denzel talked, he seemed like he talked to Will the longest. And when Will ended up winning later in the evening, he actually mentioned some of what Denzel said to him about, it's when all the pressure is on you that's when the devil's going to come after you. And, I thought that was interesting because, let me say, I have a couple thoughts. First of all, that slap wasn't about, because that was such a light tap. That wasn't nothing. You should have had that same energy a couple weeks ago when you were on the red carpet. What was it, the SAG Awards or the Directors Guild Awards or something? He was at one of I think it was the SAGs. But Laverne Cox, the transgender actress, from Orange is the New Black, and I know she was in like Rocky Horror Picture Show. She's been in a bunch of things. I think she did Kinky Boots and all these. She's Laverne Cox. I mean, people know who she is, right? She was on the Blacklist on the episode or two or whatever. I saw that. She's done her thing, but most people would know her if you watch Orange is the New Black. She's the transgender actress that was on Orange is the New Black, right? Laverne Cox, Jada and Will are on the red carpet. She's working for E! They, of course, come up and support her. They come, to answer her questions. And she makes an entanglement joke. Talking to, referencing the fact that of the relationship that Jada had with August Alsina, who was her son's friend. She's letting this dude pipe her out. She's married to Will. The whole thing was weird. But a lot of people got upset at Laverne Cox for making that entanglement joke. If Will had slapped Laverne Cox, then they would have tried to get Will Smith for like a hate crime, LGBT this or whatever. It would have been that kind of thing, as opposed to slapping somebody just because they got out of pocket. It's like, okay, you just said something that was way disrespectful and out of pocket, trying to get some jokes off. You talking about a private situation between me and my wife, trying to make make light of that situation. And if Will Smith had slapped Laverne Cox, then everybody would have been like, oh my God. And you would have seen all the LGBTQ groups out. They would have been, but there were so many people that were getting on Laverne Cox. The next day, Laverne Cox had to come out and make an apology. She put some video talking about, hey, I was just joking. I didn't mean no harm, such, such, such. So I'm sitting there going, you didn't have that same energy for Laverne, but Chris Rock didn't even mention the entanglement situation with August Alsina, where your wife is embarrassing you, by it's getting out there that your wife is having extracurricular activities with a younger man that was friends with her son. The August Alsina even made a song, even though that song bombed or whatever. I think he called it entanglement because that's the word Jada used. But he even put a song out talking about it, which he shouldn't have. First of all, that whole situation was creepy anyway. I know August Alsina said that he got Will's blessing. He said he talked to Will, and when the situation was starting to heat up with him and Jada, and he said he talked to Will, and Will was like, no, it's cool. But if you seen the Red Table Talk that Will Smith was on with Jada, I think it was only about a 16, 17-minute clip. It's on Facebook, which is, I think that's still her highest rated episode of Red Table Talk ever. It had only been out for a few hours and had over 16 million views. I'm sure it's got so many people had clips of that thing. I'm sure that thing's been seen, at least 50, 60 million times. Just if you break down all the people that were sharing clips and all this and then all the people on TikTok and the memes, how many people have seen that meme of Will Smith where, when somebody says something real crazy and they got the Will Smith face just looking like, because it was like Will Smith was like his body had been possessed by somebody else, and he was sitting there listening to his wife explain this relationship with another. The whole thing was crazy. I could not believe it, but like I said, Will did not have that same energy when the situation popped off with Laverne Cox. Chris Rock didn't even mention no entanglement. Because that would have been the easiest joke to joke about Will, to talk about Jada sleeping with. Instead, he makes a joke about her being bald and says, "Hey, Jada, looking forward to G.I. Jane 2." And then all of a sudden Will is all in his feelings and he gets up. I'm telling you, because when Will goes back up and accepts the award, when he gets his award, and that was Samuel L. Jackson, Uma Thurman, and John Travolta were the three, which I love that. I love that they had those three come out because, I'm a big fan of all three of them. But the whole thing, like I said, the whole thing was just surreal. Will goes up and he goes, this is a hard business. You have to sit there and let people disrespect you and your family and keep a smile on your face. And I'm like, him making a joke about G.I. Jane, dude, what? And I'm like, Will, what hole have you been living in? Because people are making jokes. There's a lot of people making jokes about Will Smith and Jada and their marriage, and they're two they got the oldest son that Will had from his previous relationship. You don't hear anything about him, but Jaden, Jaden gets so much, he said things over the internet, and then they've had, I guess, Will's PR people have had him delete stuff. And remember when he was on stage, Tyler, the Creator is my boyfriend. And then, that whole thing was weird. And Willow was on Red Table Talk with her mom and talking about she's non-binary, whatever she's into girls and she's bi, the whole thing. And I was sitting there going, that there's a lot of people commenting on the Smiths and their children. And what Chris Rock said was just make a joke about her being bald. Now, enter social media and people's reactions to that. A lot of people were pointing out the fact that Jada had announced that she has alopecia, which is why her hair is bald. So now people are like, Chris Rock made a joke about a woman's medical condition. Will should defend his wife. And I'm like, dude, this was so over the top and out of pocket. I couldn't believe it. I was embarrassed. And I normally consider Will Smith to be a very thorough brother and not to be moving in crazy ways like this. Will, this was not the business, brother. This was so bad. I was happy that you won. I'm happy for you. What was it? 2014 or so, 2015? You were nominated for Best Actor, and you lost to Forrest Whitaker. What was it? The Pursuit of Happiness. Because he'd been nominated. That was his third nomination. He got nominated for Ali, and he got nominated for Pursuit of Happiness. I didn't think he should have won for Ali, but when he lost for Pursuit of Happiness, I thought that was a very strong performance. But Forrest Whitaker as Idi Amin was an incredible performance. So I could not knock that brother for winning that award at that time, even though I was sad for Will. But Will won for King Richard. I was happy for him. But from this point forward, that is going to be a stain on your legacy, brother. You got to know that. Will, you 53 years old. You too smart to not know that hurt you. And he apologized when he got up and accepted the award. He apologized to the Academy. He still has not apologized to Chris Rock. He needs to apologize to Chris Rock. I saw people go, no, he shouldn't apologize. Yes, Will. Will needs to apologize to Chris Rock. The LA, I've seen like a couple of newspapers reported that I saw the LAPD's official Twitter, they put out a statement. They apparently contacted Chris Rock and asked him, did he want to press assault charges against Will Smith? He declined to do so. I respect Chris Rock. I know Chris Rock's, he's doing like a 5-city tour with Kevin Hart. I saw both of them were posting that on their Instagrams. I know they're playing Madison Square Garden in a couple of days. Because like I said, they're only doing 5 shows. But Kevin Hart and Will Smith have got like five shows that they're doing. And I know those are going to be very successful. But like I said, I respected the hell out of Chris Rock for deciding not to press charges against Will Smith. Because I was like, that would just made it worse. Even though he has if he pressed charges, if he filed a civil suit, I'd have been like, hey, that's part of the game, man. Will, you can't put your hands on people for making a joke, bro. And it wasn't even a joke about your personal life. Like I said, when Laverne Cox made her little joke, that was joking about your marriage and your personal life. So, like I said, you didn't have that same energy for Laverne Cox. And Laverne Cox actually was standing directly in your face and made this joke, and she knew she was out of pocket. See, didn't misgender her. So I'm like, come on. Like I said, this whole thing was so foul. Couple of celebrities that I saw on Twitter and Instagram made some comments. A lot of blue check mark people. Judd Apatow, he came out and he said he tweeted this. I was like, Judd, shut up, man. This is such a, like I said, Will. That response to Chris Rock and when Will got up and gave his acceptance speech, talking about people disrespecting him and his family, that wasn't about that G.I. Jane joke. That was about all the people who was making those entanglement jokes, talking about his wife sleeping with another man. That's what that was about, okay? That's what that was about. Will was seeing all those people atting him and sharing the memes and about him, sharing the memes about his wife. That's what that was about. Can't nobody tell me different. Can't nobody convince me of anything else besides that. That was about him just, it's been building up, and Chris Rock, it was just your turn, brother. That's what it was. I saw Dr. Boyce Watkins on Instagram. If you know who Dr. Boyce Watkins is, he's been on the Breakfast Club numerous times. He's wrote several books. He's got like 2 doctorates in like financial whatever. I know, but like I said, his specialty is finance. He used to be a professor at Syracuse. He used to be a commentator for CNN. But now he just has he has a couple of YouTube channels where he basically teaches black people about financial solvency, teaching you how to like invest and teaching you how to like get out of credit debt and stuff like that. That's what he does now. But he talks about black issues, rap music, and different things that are affecting the black community, in addition to financial literacy. And he had this post on he showed the slap on his Instagram, and he put this thing, he had Will should apologize, to black people for this, and Chris Rock, because it really irritated, because I read the post, and he said Chris Rock should apologize to black women for making fun of another black woman's medical condition. And he said if that was Meryl Streep, Chris Rock wouldn't have made that joke. And I'm sitting there going, brother, I love you, Dr. Boyce, I love you, brother. That wasn't a racial thing. That was just, that was about Will just had enough. It's like when Popeye eats that, Popeye's about to pop that can of spinach. He said, I've had all I can stand, and I can't stand no more. Will has heard hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of jokes, thousands of people on television, on radio. So many people have something to say about his private, personal relationship with his wife and what they're doing or not doing in the bedroom, who he's spending time with, who she's spending time with, this and that and blah, blah, blah. He just got tired of it. And then Chris Rock made that entanglement joke, and then he went in. That's what that was about. That ain't got nothing to do with racism. If I thought it did, I would say so. But I love Dr. Boyce Watkins, but that was one of the dumbest hot takes I have ever, ever, ever seen in my entire life. But Will, I love you, brother, but you are way out of line. You need to apologize to Chris Rock. I cannot stress that enough. But like I said, I know since I've been seeing Twitter, there's so many people that are like Team Will, Team Jada, whatever, protect black women, all this. This wasn't a downing black women. He just made a joke. I was like, that was such an innocuous joke. I could not believe the reaction that it got from Will. So, yeah. So that's it. Like I said, I already know people are going to say this or that. Please get in the comments. We can have it. I want all the smoke. I am out. PlaceTheBets.com, guys. Are you tired of crapping out on sites like Fanduel and Draftkings? Go to PlaceTheBets.com. Set your fantasy lineup. Baseball, football, basketball, hockey. They got them all. They'll set your lineup. 30 days is only $1. You can go, you can sign up right now. That 30 days is only $1. PlaceTheBets.com and get that Skrilla. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And please check out my podcast at anchor.fm/AkariPress, or just type in Akari Press on your favorite streaming platform today.